Good morning. This is Leonard OES Star. Wanted to share an article with you about the great drought in Texas.
A worker from Houston's Parks Department goes tree to tree trying to save what's still alive in Memorial Park. The drought continues. How concerned are you?
Well, more concerned than normal.
I talked to state climatologist John Nielsen Gammon by phone. He says the weather patterns in the Atlantic and Pacific could last up to 30 years, meaning our drought could last another 20 years.
We could be coming out of it, if we're lucky, pretty quickly, or we could potentially be in this drought susceptibility phase for another 15 or more years. It's unfortunately impossible to say at this point.
He sees a lot of similarities between today's conditions and the worst drought in Texas history back in the 50s.
Everything's dying around here.
People in the park see the problem firsthand as the trees die and are cut down. The city estimates the drought has already claimed 15,000 trees in our parks.
It definitely makes it hotter. I mean, usually in the past, you have more coverage to wander around and walking in. You have less shade.
You can see smoke rising from the trees in Herman Brown Park in northeast Harris County this day. Now we just need water falling from the skies.
Texas in flames. Fire racing across the region, sustained by an unrelenting drought. It has been catastrophic for homeowners. Personal losses already topping $250 million.
Because of the drought, it's just 24/7 we're on call.
The past 12 months have been the driest since they started keeping records in 1895. It has crippled the Texas cattle industry. Estimates are it will take 5 years to rebuild the herd. But crops have taken the hardest hit. Cotton is the latest to be wiped out. Agriculture losses have topped $5 billion.
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
The Federal Drought Monitor over the past few months shows just how bad it's become. 97% of the state is now in extreme or exceptional drought. With lakes and reservoirs going dry, there are watering bans everywhere. And some have simply thrown in the towel on even trying to keep everything green. This grass looks great, but that's because it's not really grass.
Because I feel like everybody's going to have to tear out their whole yard and start all over again. And we may have to tear out a few plants, but our grass is going to be just fine.
Turf suppliers say she's not alone.
More recently, especially since we've been on to this mandatory watering restrictions, we've seen increases in inquiries and business.
And those changing leaves? It isn't a sign of fall. These are thirsty trees in distress, among the casualties in a state where drought reigns. For today, Janet Shamlian, NBC News, Houston.
And they also have a story that you can link up to. I'll put the link down at the bottom.
A worker from Houston's Parks